Welcome to Access Moneynomics by Access Mutual Fund.
We all have heard stories of people waiting for years to feature in KBC and hit that jackpot. But who says you can become a crorepati or a millionaire only and only by participating in KBC? The question is not kaun banega crorepati, but it is kaise banega crorepati? Kaise banega millionaire? All I can say is it's going to be a very interesting talk with Shane Vaz, our guest for this episode. So please stay tuned. Hello and welcome to yet another episode of Access Moneynomics. This is your host and money mentor Rashmi from Access Mutual Fund. In this episode, we have with us Shane Vaz. He is the Assistant Vice President, a Product Manager at Access Mutual Fund. But before we start, may I ask you to add this podcast to your playlist, please? Hello all. We are all delighted to have Shane on our podcast today at Access Moneynomics. Hi Shane, very, very warm welcome to Access Moneynomics.
Hi Rashmi, thank you for having me on the podcast and good day to everybody listening to us today on this podcast.
Thank you so much, Shane, and welcome again to Access Moneynomics. Guys, Shane comes with almost a decade of an experience in this finance industry, and I want, Shane, you to tell us what exactly do you do at Access? What's your role at Access as a product manager?
So Rashmi, I'm very fortunate to be at Access as part of the product team. The product team is basically in charge of running and maintaining the various products that we've got. So we've got a plethora of offerings across equity, debt, hybrid, international funds, etc. Our job at the product team is to conceptualize new ideas or existing ideas and to present those same funds to you in bite-sized or usable formats. So
Right.
that's what we do at Access Products.
Quite interesting. So Shane, having $1 million or 10 lakh rupees is a huge milestone. And we are here to talk about how to get there, and that too by the age of 30. You say it's possible, and it would be so interesting to know how. So why don't you take us through?
Yes, well, certainly it is possible, and to all of my friends out there who are just in college or they've just started their first jobs, it is very much possible. For those of you who've already embarked on your journey, the first to anything is always the toughest to achieve, but it gives you the best pleasure, right? I mean, consider your first bike or your first car. Each of these aspects, so your first crore or your first 10 lakhs, millionaire, we're talking about getting to a million by the age of 30. These are all life goal achievements. And when you look at it from a financial standpoint of view, when you start this early, at the age of 18 or 20 or 22, you really have time on your hands and you have the ability to take that additional risk. That's where I come in, and I'm here to tell you that this can be done in a very, very small amount. For you to get to 10 lakhs today, all you need to do is to start with a small SIP in any equity fund. You can start off in something like an index fund, which tracks a benchmark like the Nifty 50. You start off with rupees 5,000. Historically in India, equity and as represented by Nifty 50, the most common benchmark, has given you about 12% CAGR, which is compound annual growth rate, over the last 5 years. If you look at even 10 years, it has given you 11.5%. So assimilate all of this, 5,000 rupees per month for the next 10 years, growing at 12% CAGR gets you to 10 lakhs. Plain and simple, right?
Right. So I remember last time in the last episode, guys, if you remember, we had Shikha on our podcast and she mentioned that starting early is so critical and important for you to start investing. You know, to have that small amount kept aside for investing, you need to have time at your hand. And if you do, you should take that as a leverage and do it. But like Shane, you mentioned, Nifty gave some compounded annualized returns of 11% and 12% over the 5-10 years. But I'm pretty sure that, past performance may or may not sustain in future. So you should always be cognizant of the market risk at any point in time. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Exactly, Rashmi. The equity markets or any market-linked product does not go up in a straight line. You will have ups and downs. You have to factor all of that in when you determine that goal. So setting that goal early is very, very important, because the longer you give that goal to set, the better it is for you from a financial standpoint.
Right. So let me take this a little aside and, was a little curious. When did you start your first investing and how was your journey like?
So I started investing when I got my first job. So I started just out of college. I started working at a firm, and I started with a base salary of 15,000 rupees. And I saved 5,000 rupees of that. So that's
wow, 30% of your income.
So
fantastic.
So I started saving 30% of my income and investing it into a mutual fund. I started an SIP, and I hit my first million. That is 10 lakh rupees. That's
fantastic.
Because every year, as my salary went up, I saved a little bit more every year. So that is my story. And since then, it's been a further 10 years, and I've grown that wealth even more.
Superb. So 2 lessons so far from you, Shane. Start investing early and, be cognizant of the market fluctuations because they are going to affect, how you invest. And, you should always be thoughtful about, there are market uncertainties, right? So could you talk about some of these things a little bit in terms of behavior, how the behavior should be managed and how long-term investing and staying put for a longer term helps to reach that crore goal or that 10 million or a 1 million goal?
Okay, so let's be very clear. When you start saving, the smaller your savings, obviously, the smaller will be your gains. But what happens over time is when you start small and you start early, with the benefit of time, what happens is that you generate a passive income stream. What is a passive income stream? When you go to office every day or when you get to your workplace every day, you are spending time creating your primary source of income. But what happens is when you save or when you invest, the money that is sitting in your investment pool is growing on its own. That is a passive stream of income. And that is what leads to something called compounding. Compounding, right, like Albert Einstein said, is the eighth wonder of the world. Those who understand it earn from it. Those who don't understand from it don't appreciate it. Of course, I'm paraphrasing here, but the power of compounding is what drives investing the way, it is truly the way to become rich. So starting early, like I mentioned, I can't reiterate it as much, but if you follow this with time, compounding plays a very, very big role. In my example, with 5,000 rupees SIP, over 10 years, you will save a principal of 6 lakhs. But if you do the math and if the numbers work in your favor, the 12% that grows every year effectively works out to almost doubling your principal amount, and hence you get very, very close to that number of 10 lakhs or your target of becoming a millionaire in 10 years. So right. Compounding is a very, very critical aspect. Please take some time to understand what it is. There is a lot of reading material out there on the internet. Understand it and then apply it to your lives.
Right. So not to get bothered by the too much of noise around in the market and stay focused to the goal is what you're trying to imply, Shane, right? Yeah.
Exactly.
So,
exactly.
Stay
the markets
focused
move
on
up
what
and
you
down.
want. Correct.
Yeah, the markets move up and down. You stay committed. Markets will work for you.
Correct. So not going back and checking the market value of my investment every day, right?
Yeah.
So not always keeping a tab of, how much has it increased? How much has it lost? Oh my God, it has lost. What do I do now? Should I take it out? Should I continue investing? So I think we should stay away from that is what I understand.
Perfect.
Right.
Also, I'd like to talk to you a little bit about, financial planning. It's very, very important to set yourself up for a financial plan. If you are unable to do it, go to a financial planner, plan how much debt you will take, plan how much investments you will take, what are your near-term expenses, what are your longer-term experiences. All of these aspects are very, very critical in securing that financial future. For those of you who do not have that ability or do not have the time to plan your finances, seek someone out. Either it could be your family member, it could be a friend, it could be an advisor. But it's very, very critical to start that out early, because the sooner you start, the better is the benefit. You do not want to be in a situation wherein you get close to retirement 15, 20 years from now and then brood over spilt milk, right? I mean, it's very, very important.
Absolutely.
If I save and cringe and then build my wealth, no financial planner will ever tell you to cringe and build wealth. You have to enjoy your life. So at the end of the day, those small indulgences of taking a holiday, rejuvenate, with your loved ones, buy that pair of jeans or all of that, do that. That'll give your life that happiness. But don't lose sight of that bigger goal, that hidden goal rather. And that is what will give you that satisfaction, both financially and personally.
This is quite interesting. So you can live your life and then still become a millionaire and then enjoy your life even more. And
Exactly.
by investing 5,000 rupees a month. I think this is a fantastic idea.
Yeah. And I urge all of my friends out here, if you haven't started that SIP, just start. I mean, it'll change your life in more ways than one.
So starting early in your investments, enjoying your life, keeping a focus on your goal, and not forgetting to also keeping yourself updated, upskill always, to read up on a few things like specifically that he mentioned about was compounding, the magic that it can create in your life and the wealth that it can help you create for yourself. So these are the learnings for me today and for you guys. Thank you so much, Shane, for bringing in your expertise and helping our audience learn about how becoming a millionaire by the age of 30 is not that difficult after all.
My pleasure, Rashmi. Thanks for having me.
That's all for today, folks. Thanks for listening. Remember to playlist our podcast, Access Moneynomics, so you don't miss out on any interesting topics that we have to share. Also, share this episode with anyone who you think is still to earn their first million and are looking to know how to do it. So until then, this is your host, Rashmi, signing off. You just listened to Access Moneynomics by Access Mutual Fund.
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.